Hi everyone, today I wanted to show you a tip that was shared with me ages ago by a consultant friend, but it's a game changer. It has changed the way I cut my cardstock. Now normally if I'm doing photo mats for a 6x4 photo, I don't like to trim my photos down. Some people do, and if you do, you can take 1/4 inch off each side and then just trim your photo mats to 6x4 and you'd get 6 out of a sheet. But because I like my photo mats 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, it's a different thing. So the normal way, if I cut to 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, I'm suddenly only going to get, there's 2 photo mats, some leftover, and I'm going to get 1 more photo mat. So I would only get 3. And the same can be said if you were doing photo mats for any size up to about 5x7. All right, you would only get 3 per sheet. And then you'd have all these leftovers that aren't quite the right size. So I want to help you with that. The first thing I need to do on this particular trimmer is extend out my arm. Now you'll notice I do like to work with this down the bottom so that I can clearly see and look over my measurements. Now I want to cut 4 photo mats and I want them to be 6x4. So if I take this pen, I'm going to move that bit of paper for the moment. So this is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 inches. Oh, worst inch marks ever. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those together. 4 1/4 and 6 1/4 equals 10.5 inches. So my first step is to cut a 10.5 inch square. So lining it up on my trimmer, put my scraps aside. Right, so I've got my 10.5 inch square. Now, the way I like to do it, I take to my 6 1/4 line, and please note, I have a blade that is a point blade. If you have a roller blade, you will find this harder to do, and so you might need to practice a bit more. But with my pointed blade on my Fiskars trimmer, it works really well. So I'm going to cut up to 6 1/4. So there's a line on my trimmer blade here and an arrow, and I can line that up with the measurements up this guide here. I'm then going to rotate my paper anti-clockwise. So to the left, and I'm going to line it up again. I'm going to take my trimmer blade back to the bottom, and I'm going to cut up to 6 1/4. Photo mat number 1. Rotate again, anti-clockwise. Measure it up to 6 1/4. Start with my blade at the bottom, cut up again to 6 1/4. Second photo mat. Rotate one last time. This time round, it doesn't matter the same where my blade is. All right, and I just need to chop that off. 1, 2. So now I've got 4 photo mats, and these are my scraps. Much better use of my cardstock to get my photo mats in the size that I want them. So I'm going to turn this over. We're going to pretend that this is 5x7. So you can do this up to any numbers. So if you remember how I added the 4 1/4 and the 6 1/4 to equal 10.5, as long as this number is no bigger than 12 inches, it's going to work. So if we did 5 inches plus 7 inches equals 12 inches. It does mean that for my 5x7 photos, I would need to just trim them down a little bit, but that's okay. All right. So the same principle applies, but this time I would go to the 7 inches. I don't know why I always just start with the long side, or with the longer measurement. So take it up to 7, rotate anti-clockwise. Now, if you're really precise with your measurements, you can start from that point and then cut back towards you. It won't matter. So there's 1. We're going to rotate again. Again, anti-clockwise. I'm going to start from the bottom, cut up to 7, There's my second photo mat. Rotate again, anti-clockwise. Back to my 7, chop. So there's now 3 5x7 photo mats and a little square left over. So any number in between, so if you've got odd size photos or anything like that, any number in between will work. It will work obviously for smaller photo mats. The difference is that you may decide that it's not worth trying to remember to rotate and cut it to size and stuff, because for smaller than that, they tend to fit a bit easier into your cardstock. I hope that helped, guys, and I hope you like being able to get 4 photo mats from 1 sheet of paper. Have a good day.